Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the League of Europe for round number 12 of the Season 8 League of Europe Championship, coming to you from the beautiful Marina Bay Street Circuit here in Singapore for a 31 lap affair and a rainy short qualifying, as we're just seeing on the screen, for what should be a pretty interesting Singapore Grand Prix, as it always usually is. Of course, if you tuned in to Division 1, we had quite the ending there at the end of that. What was looking like a very interesting race, and then that safety car really did change a few things up. But we're gonna get here into Division 4, where safety cars tend to change things up, as we had last week in Mexico. But alongside me in the commentator's booth this week, once again, is going to be QVR Verstappen. How's it going here?
Hello everyone, indeed. Welcome to Singapore here, round 12 of season 9 here in Division 4. Doing well. Just gonna hope and see that we get a slightly better race than in D1. It's a bit chaotic, to say the least. It wasn't the dating, but a rainy qualifying speaks for itself, and it's gonna be very interesting if the drivers can cope, because there's usually not a lot of grip here already. Don't know if drivers can cope with this level of rain as well. It's not going to be a lot of grip out there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Of course, Singapore on this game, known for not having too much grip, especially most of the street circuits, knowing for not having too much grip, as we will get the on-track action out to your guys' screens. Yeah, now with the wet weather, it's going to be even more slidey, and these drivers are going to struggle a lot more. Swip saying in the chat that it's going to be raining in qualifying and the race. So we're going to be here for a long time, and hopefully a good time as well.
Yeah, I'll have to see if it's going to rain. Obviously, the icons like to mess up a little bit, so if it shows the rainy icons but it's a low percentage chance, it is likely not going to rain. The percentages are the ones you need to take off that. So we'll see if the drivers have done that. Either way, you're going to have a high downforce setup here at Singapore. Not a lot of places to overtake, and you need that downforce in the corners anyway. So yeah, don't expect that. As we see, Old School disqualified from blocking the pit lane, and my guess is that he's lost a wing, so he must have spun out of it and then been disqualified for blocking it. That's very unfortunate.
Yeah, of course, Singapore would be a track that I'd imagine Old School would be hoping that he'd get a good result at. Of course, in Mexico and now Singapore this week, both known as wheel circuits, and of course switching over to or switching devices just a few seasons ago. He'd be hoping for a good result here in Singapore. Of course, qualifying fifth last time out was Old School, but we're gonna watch his teammate now for the first lap here in qualifying. 23 corners at the Marina Bay Street Circuit as we head into the first three. The left-hander of turn 1, the right-hander of turn 2. Be careful not to invalidate there on the inside. And for the left-hander of turn 3, as we're going to run through the slight left-hander of 4, now into 5. Just dip over the hill there as you drop back down. In the dry, you would open up DRS here for the first time on the circuit. And you're going to go right through 6 and then stay on the right-hand side for turn 7 as we head through the first sector for the first time. 30.792 for the Haas driver. A little bit wide there at turn 7 as we brake hard into the hairpin of turn 8 down to first gear just for a little bit there to get a little bit of rotation. You go all the way to the right-hand side to flick it left for turn 9. Then you want to run it all the way to the wall there for turn 9 and stay on the right-hand side as we go into the previous Singapore sling section into turn 10. Flick it left. Be careful with that turn in though, because you can clip that inside wall or invalidate through 11 and through 12. Be careful to ride over that curve on the inside of 12 as we go across the bridge into turn 13. A hard hairpin to get the hang of because you can lock a wheel very, very easily as we are exiting into 13. And once again in the drive, we'll be activating DRS here in qualifying. And as we cross the middle sector split, it's a 15.253. Purple in the middle so far through 14 looks pretty decent as he heads out of 14 and now through 15, and then the right-hander of 16 just hop over the curbs here at the chicane, especially here at 17 where you can bottom out just a little bit. Now as we head under the grandstands for turn 18 and turn 19, be careful to avoid the wall there. You want to avoid the curb here on the right-hander, and then through 20 and 21 hop over the curbs for both parts of the chicane there, and then keep it on the right-hand side for the final two corners. This is a fast double left-hander here as you flick it into 22 and then try and squirt the power at the rear end of that Haas as Robert Summit's a 54 flat for him. I'm sure we'll see quite a few more improvements as we get along into the session as drivers are going to acclimatize to the conditions.
Also, I don't think that was a very bad lap whatsoever. So we see Close Recon retiring as he's serving a qualifying ban here. Evil Dragon is one I expected to be right up there, but he's about 5 tenths off for the middle sector splits compared to Robert. Let's see if he can maybe catch a bit back in the final sector, coming across the line. No, 55-1, so about a second off is Evil Dragon, who's shown he's very capable of driving in these wet conditions, but this time out it's not quite up there. Purpose is a 10th under Robert's middle sector split. He had a bit of a moment for the last couple corners, but he's lost quite a bit of time in the final sector, and he's about a second behind as well. So Robert's final sector very solid looking so far. Have to see if anyone can change that fact though. And Merck starting a lap, just looking around. Ibo is towards the end of his lap, just gonna check what he's going to do. He's on a 23-9 split. He's gonna be well over the 2 minutes here. 2:06.7 here, so quite a ways off. We'll see if he can improve later. Goes UK next one across the line. He is much closer, and he's only 2 tenths off Roberts in the Alpine. Not bad at all, and just slotting in P5 with a 56.8.
Yeah, it looks like some of the drivers up towards the front of there, especially Polypoles or maybe even Evil Dragon, weren't using ERS. They did cross the line with 100%, so maybe a little bit in the locker for those guys. Old School saying in the chat that he's tired of the driving standards. The pit light just crashed into him. So I guess we get the full story as to what happened there as we watch Esteban go into the wall, the outside wall at turn 4, and promptly invalidate with his broken front wing. iConnects pulls hitter a few times this season. He goes up to P5. There's a hash just coming into the pit lane. That'd be Robertson. I'm surprised he's not going for multiple laps here. Energetics, yeah, he's just coming through turn 22 and 23 now across the line. Is it going to be provisional pole position? No, but it's the second row. The grid is still 9 tenths of a second off of Robertson, who's currently looking very, very good so far in this session. Is Evil Dragon on a lap? Yes, he is. I didn't quite catch any of his split times, but it's going to be an improvement. It's a 7.5 tenth improvement. That puts him up into P3. I think Swip is going to be the next one across the line. No, that's his teammate Jamie Met, who's just starting. There's an Alfa Romeo that'll be Polypoles.
Yeah.
Of course, our championship leader, a little bit up. Finds a lot, as you mentioned earlier on watching his lap, found a lot of time in that final sector, and it puts him up into P4, and he's only 3 thousandths behind Evil Dragon in third.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Swip is now going to come across the line. Decent lap for him, looking like 55.4. Not too bad whatsoever for the Aston Martin, one of the Mercedes, and that's Jordan putting it on professional pole. 53.7, and him just about being in the title fight still. And I think this is a race where he could do well if that qualifying goes well. Matt's teammates Matt's a bit disappointing there, the 56.6. Not a good run recently though, so we'll see if he can improve throughout, just with slightly improvements into P9. And you see this a lot, where a lot of drivers will just do consecutive laps to get a rhythm going, and potentially just try and shave off time as they go on, as they get more used to the conditions. We'll have to see if it's gonna maybe stop raining as well. It doesn't look like it so far. Who knows? It might get that later on in the session potentially. iConnect is not on the lap there, and Energetics, he is 7 tenths off, so I think we should go on board with him. He's coming towards the end of his lap. This last chicane of turn 20 and 21. Exit quite difficult to be proven. Let's see. We come then into the final 2 corners. And let's see if he can improve. He goes across the line. No, he's quite a ways off. Lost about a second in that last sector.
Yeah, I did notice that he went deep into turn 16, so that would have been his problem there. Why he lost his 6/10 or his possible 6/10 improvement. His Evil Dragon drifts it across the line. Unlucky not to improve there. Polypoles is on a lap. He was up by 8 hundredths of a second heading through the middle sector. Is there any more to find for Polypoles here in the final sector? It's going to be a second real run at the final sector as he has a massive slide through 22, and he's still almost improved, which is quite impressive. As we're going to watch get on board with Jamie Met, who's unfortunately invalid. It was a 208.3, so it would only been good enough for P13 if it was indeed valid. I think Jordan's going to be the next one to cross the line in the Mercedes. Current pole sitter, as it stands right now, he's derating across the line, and he finds another 3.5 tenths of a second, which is a really good lap for him. I think Jav is just coming across the line to start. Ecos Mats, the second Mercedes, as it stands right now. P10, of course, second last week in Mexico, finds a second at 1.2 seconds, which is a very good improvement for him. It puts him up onto a 55.334. There's an Aston that just crossed the line, and I think Jess is just about to cross the line as well. It doesn't improve, unfortunately, enough for her. Goes UK. Yeah, to the line, finds 2 tenths of a second. It puts himself on the front row of the grid, but there's still a massive gap to Jordan up at the front.
Yeah, Jordan's both his laps have been very, very good. The only one's in the 53 so far. I think guys like Polypus, maybe Energetics as well, who've been improving. Not on this lap though, but on the previous lap. And just messing up at the end. Maybe Evil Dragon potentially as well. And Goshuke has been showing quite decent as well. And Robertson, we haven't seen much from him since his first lap. I think he's about to start one. Just about now. So keep an eye on that. Whilst we look for other drives improvement. I think Evil Dragon is coming towards the end of a lap. I can't catch any split times though. It's going a bit wide. It doesn't look like it is a very good lap. Can't lie. But his timer is not too far off, so let's see. Going across the line, if he's anywhere near his time, it doesn't look like it though. 54.6, 2 tenths down. Energetics is starting a lap in behind.
Pulls up by a lot.
Is 5 tenths up. And this could be a well improvement. Can he match Jordan up there? I don't think he's quite able to match him, but in the 53s he does go. And a 53.7 is definitely not a bad lap going into P number 2. Jamie Met just coming across the line. He gets his first valid lap time in with a 55.8.
Yeah, we're just going to jump on board with Jordan, but he's going to be coming into the pit lane. The second Alfa Romeo of Jav is just coming around the final few corners. Let's see what he's going to be able to do. His first lap time of the day. Make sure he doesn't, make sure he keeps it on track. Just to keep that lap time valid. It's P7 for Jav, which isn't at all bad for the Alfa Romeo driver. Let's see. Swip now to the line, improves by just under a tenth of a second, but it's not going to help him in his hopes of gaining any positions. Jess Gamer to the line, P10, a second improvement for her. I think Esteban is going to be the next one to the line. He might just be starting though. Yeah, I think he's just going to be starting a lap. So the next one is going to be Robertson, who's just currently heading through the middle sector split and through turn 14.
7 tenths up.
Yeah, 7 tenths up. I couldn't quite catch a sector split as we headed through turns 16 and 17, quite a bit less cautious than he was on his first lap of the session, the one that put him on provisional pole for a good few minutes, as we only have 5.5 minutes left here in short qualifying. So a lot of drivers aren't going to get many laps in. Jordan's still in the pit lane. Ghost UK still in the pit lane. They still have both of them have good shots at getting provisional pole position here, as Robertson is heading out of turn 21 and through 22 and 23, down a gear for the penultimate corner as we accelerate through 23. Is it going to be provisional pole position? Yeah. And it is by 0.3 of a second. Robertson absolutely flying here in Singapore. I think Evil Dragon is going to be the next one to the line. It's not nearly as good as the lap that Robertson just put up, but it's good enough for P4, 53.762, and drivers are starting to get closer to the top of the field as Energetics just starts a lap.
Yeah, I think it's just about starting. Polypus is coming into the pits, might strap on a new set of inters if he dares. If there's actual rain in the race, then you have to be careful with using too many intersets. I believe you have 4 sets. So I have to see about that. Jamie Met just getting an improvement there into the 54s he goes. 54.9, not bad at all. And Jav is about 5 tenths up. So let's see what he can do. He's sliding quite a bit there, using very low gears there for the final bit. He is derating, but I think it's not going to matter that much. Let's see, coming across the line, the Alfa Romeo, 54.8. Very decent time from Jav. Haven't seen too much of this season. Swip 7 tenths up. And he's coming short to the line and runs out of fuel actually.
Ooh.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. He was up by a good 7 tenths, but lost quite a bit of time there. If he can make it back to the pits, there's a good chance he can improve and maybe get himself among the top guys, even. One of the Ferraris is Esteban coming up into P11. The Ferrari is normally quick in qualifying. They're not loving these intermediate conditions so far. I can actually just about start a lap, but both outside the top 10 so far.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to see the Ferrari so far down the order, kind of like what we saw in Australia in real life in qualifying. But Not quite as far down, unfortunate to say, but Iconex, as you mentioned, just starting a lap. I think Robertson was just coming through the final sector. He's down by almost a second and a half. I think he backed off, or he's actually going to the pit lane. So he's doing one lap and then coming back in. So I guess he thinks that's good enough for pole position, possibly. We'll just have to wait and see. There's only 3.5 minutes left. He's not going to have a lot of time to get back out there.
Evil Dragon.
Possibly not even enough to start another lap. Evil Dragon just crossed the line, goes up to P3. I think Energetics is going to be the next one across the line. Doesn't improve, down by 3/10 on his lap, but he still has ERS to keep on going. Jamie Met is invalid. Ghost UK is just going to be starting a lap very, very soon. And then Poldypoles, or no, not Poldypoles, Jav is in the final sector and is also invalid. So I think the next one, I think most of the drivers are going to be starting laps or who are coming to the final sector right now. Jordan just starting a lap. As we mentioned, Ghost UK was starting a lap as well. Just in behind him, I think that might be Esteban. Yeah, he's up by 5.5 tenths of a second as we head through 15, 16 now. Let's see if he hops over the curb at 17. No, stays well away from it. As we head out of 17 and into 18, under the grandstand here, hops over the curb on the inside. Let's see what he does for 19. Just rides the curb a little bit, just short shifting, trying to get as much traction as he possibly can as Just Gamer calls it quits here in qualifying in the pit lane. Out of 21, short shifting to the absolute absolute max. There we go. English, it worked eventually. Esteban, lucky to not invalidate and still finds almost 7/10 of a second there as he stays in P11 for the time being. Swip just cutting the final few corners, just trying to get back to the line as quickly as possible. I think Polypool is just going to be starting lap, and Energetics, or Iconex, just in behind him as well.
Yeah, Swip's not going to get a lap in, unfortunately. She had a very good pace, so fortunate to see. But yeah, just going to mention again, if Steven is watching, his throttle is not going. He's not going full throttle completely. If you look at the bar he's going at, it's not. So if his controller is messed up, yeah, that is potentially. I have a solution for that. Get the throttle saturation up, and that might solve a little bit of it. So yeah, just go figure that out in the controls and force feedback. We'll have to see. Energetic jumps up into P5 with a 53.7 now, right behind Polpus.
Yeah, it's a good lap for him there. He improved by over a second, did Energetics there. Ecos Mats is just coming across the line to get one final lap in. I think Ghost UK, as we're going to start to find drivers that are on flying laps that are going to be able to get a second one. Ghost UK drifting out of 21 there. Let's see what he's able to do across the line. He's not going to have a lot of ERS to keep improving, but he finds enough for 0.8 of a second and the front row of the grid as it stands right now. I think Jamie Metz just coming to the line. He's down in his time. Didn't find anything in the final sector. Would have just backed off there. I think Jordan, yeah, Jordan's 4/10 up. This is almost pole position pace, depending. He needs to find just around a 10th or 2 in the final sector to put himself on provisional pole position. As Robertson, I don't think is going to get to the line or be very close. Jordan loses time in the final sector there, and it puts him on the front row of the grid. Robertson just coming to the line to start a lap. He has 15 seconds to spare. I think Iconex. Or no, that's Esteban, who's just coming to the line as him and Ibo do some synchronized crashing at the final corner there. So I guess we'll hop on board with Serial Killer, who's not going to make it to the line, who joined very late on into the session. So we'll hop on board with Poldy Pose. Sector time didn't come up through the middle, so we'll have to see if it's good enough for pole position. He needs 0.8 of a second improvement to find himself on the front row of the grid. Let's see if he's going to be able to do it. P5 to pole position by a few hundredths of a second. Anyone else? Evil Dragon, he's up by 5.5.
Energetics was purple in the middle sector to take over, but he's looking like he could go towards the end. Evil Dragon not improving. And Energetics having a bit of a snap. Can he get still pole? 53.063, 1 thousandth ahead of Robert. And these top guys are very close together. Equals Mats. Is he going to be able to improve 6/10 up? So he could make a little bit of a jump, maybe to P7 if he has more in the final sector, maybe even more. P7 it is. Jav not obviously finishing a lap. Goshi K is invalid. He is done. Jordan, I think, is done. I think he's trying. I can't see anything. Robert is still going around as well. Keep an eye on them too. Jamie and Met is coming across the line very soon. 3/10 up, so he could maybe nab P8 from Jav here. across the line, 54.5. Very decent time from him. Jordan is about a 10th down. Let's see if he's found anything in the final sector potentially, because the margins are so thin. You might as well try. Let's see the Mercedes coming around the final corner. Is he going to be able to nab it? Yes, he is. 53.032. Is then Robert done? No, he's 2 tenths up. Robert's coming across the final 2 corners, going deep though. Keeps it valid. And across the line, 52.9. He takes pole position right ahead of Jordan there. What a qualifying session that is.
Yeah, really heated up right towards the end of that, and the guy that set the first lap in qualifying, the first fastest lap in qualifying, and finds himself on pole position here for Singapore. Someone that you would never ever really expect to find himself on pole position here in Division 4. Of course, 16th in the championship, only 28 points to his name so far, but he finds himself up at the front of the grid at a track that it's very difficult to overtake at as long as you have a decent amount of straight line speed and keep it in a straight line. But he's able to put it on the front row of the grid there alongside Jordan, who's looking to pick up as many points as possible off of Poles is only in the grid slot next to him. Of course, the championship gap right now, 47 points between Jordan and Poles. Energetics in a very good fourth place there. Still only a 10th.5 off pole position and only a 0.03 of a second off a second. What could have been for Energetics? Ghost UK in P5. Evil Dragon invalidated at the final corner on a lap that could have put him on pole position. I think he crossed the line 6 tenths up on his best lap time. Ecos Matt's P7, followed by Jamie, Matt, Jaff, and Swip are your top 10. And then Esteban's P11, followed by Jess, Iconex, Ibo, and then Ghost Recon and Serial Killer did not set a laps. And of course, Old School was disqualified from qualifying right at the beginning. So, yeah, a half sandwich here for Division 4, and I think a lot of drivers would be happy with what they were able to accomplish there in qualifying.
Yeah, it was, either way, it was very entertaining to see the fight for the top at the end there. Those wet qualifying sessions are usually very good, both in real life and in the game. Let's see if it is raining here, or that it is possibly dry. It's dry. So yeah, just to note, it should be the percentages that give way of what weather is going to be in the race, not the icons. Just for anyone watching and anyone watching back. So let's see what the guys do with the strategy now. Usually it's a hard medium here, but there are some variations possible and a lot of safety cars possible here as well. So yeah, we'll have to see if anyone going to anticipate on that. I do expect to see some sort of variation with someone starting on mediums or maybe even on softs, which are actually viable tires around here. So yeah, we'll have to see. It's going down to the formation lap.
Yeah, none of the mechanics doing the actual T-pose. They just kind of have their arms at the sides, unfortunately, this week. But, yeah, I don't think Robert Sum's going to be too worried about that because he's starting on pole position, and he's starting on a set of medium compound tires, which is something that we saw in Division 1 from Alp. Starting on the mediums, Jordan starting on the hards, or Slippery Cucumber in Division 1 starting on the hards. Of course, no soft runners we see in the field starting tonight. I'm sure you know what that would be like, anyways, Pole's P3, followed by Energetics, Ghost UK, Evil Dragon, Matt's, Jamie, Jav, the top 9 besides Robert Sum, all on hards. Swip P10 on mediums, Esteban, Jess on the hards, and then Iconex is your final medium runner. Only 3 out of 17 on the mediums. Ibo P14, Ghost Recon P15, followed by Serial Killer, and Old School both on the hard compounded tires. Old School taking a little bit of a gap, just trying to get up to racing speed, get some temperature into those tires. Of course, those hard tires can be very extremely difficult to warm up. But yeah, this is a very crucial race here now for Robert Sum. He's able to put it on pole position in the wet weather. What is he going to be able to do in the dry? Because as it stands right now, he wouldn't be able to double his points tally for the season, but he could get very, very close to.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, we've seen that sometimes he's just right up there with the quality pace, but hasn't quite been able to convert it into good results many times. So I'll have to see if that changes around here. A very difficult track, obviously. Gonna have to keep concentrated for a good 31 laps of around 1 minute 40 plus laps. So yeah, nearly an hour you could get to here, especially if it is gonna rain later. I mean, you never know. The guys in behind them, P2 and P3, that's going to be very interesting. Both on hards, both still in the championship fight. At least the two most likely to do it. Polip is obviously ahead by, I think, a good 40 points ahead of Jordan. Jordan's still in it. but he has to gain some back here, and what better way to do it than around Singapore with another 5 rounds to go after this. To see if he's going to be able to do that. And from in behind, let's see how Swift and Iconex can maybe catch up through the rest of the race.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here as I'm going to very, very quickly, if I can find it, pop the calendar on your screen. As you can see, on the right-hand side of the calendar, you have Singapore this week, and then we have a break week next week for Easter, and then we come back to Austria, Netherlands, Saudi Arabia, Belgium, Brazil, 5-lap sprints, or a 5-race sprint to the end of the season, as people are just getting settled into their grid slots. Old School at the back has found himself a grid position as we're going to go on board with Jordan here for the start. Or Robertson on pole position on the medium compounded tires, and it gets a really good reaction. I think he's going to be clear into turn 1 here as Jordan didn't have the greatest of starts, and I think Poldypoles is going to be clear into P2 at the start here. It's 3 wide in the background between a McLaren, a Red Bull, and an Alpine. That'll be Evil Dragon, Energetics, and Ghost UK, but it looks like Poldypoles is going to be clear in second. Jordan in third. Evil Dragon is a solid 4th place right now. Energetics, Ghost UK, Ecos, Mats, all these guys trying to find themselves in a single line as they head through turn 5 there. I think Jav and Iconex is going to be the only battle out on track as we head down towards turn 7. There's an awful broadcast camera as Jav and Iconex make contact. Iconex, of course, being on the medium tires, trying to make up as many positions as possible. He's already made up 3 on the start right now. Esteban and Ghost Recon going side by side. Ghost UK and Mats going side by side as well as we head into 9. The Alpine on the outside of the Mercedes driver. They're going to go side by side down towards turn 10. Let's see who's going to win out in this one. The Mercedes and the Alpine go side by side. The Mercedes around the outside. Is he going to be able to hold it through the hairpin of 11? I don't think he's going to be able to do that, as Ghost UK will hold on to 6th place for the time being, but it looks like Ecos Mans has as a man on a mission as it stands right now because he's trying to make up as many positions as possible, and that was a pretty daring overtake going side by side through turn 10 is absolutely ridiculous.
Yes, Iconex is trying to make a move on Swift around the outside of 14, just about make that stick. And it's up to P8, very good start for the Ferrari coming for P13. Yeah, good bit of action between Mats and Ghost UK. Mats just going a bit deep into 10, and Ghost UK making use of that, switching it back. And he is now still in P6. At the front, Robert has taken advantage of those mediums, and he is round.
Oh. Oh, someone else, Evil Dragon.
Yeah, Evil Dragon just in behind, doing the exact same thing. Spinning around in turn 23, and they are both down the grid. Robertson is still on P5, so might be able to capitalize. Still the leading medium runner, but the tires are going to be very hot, so you got to be careful now.
Watch out for Iconex.
Iconex indeed going for a move, trying to go around the outside of Mats, but I don't think he's going to do it there. He's going to go alongside here, alongside Mats. And down towards turn number 7, I think he's going to be able to make this one move. He's got this on lap 1 that he could do this. Mats putting his elbows out though, and they are still side by side down towards turn 8. Let's see, Iconex on the mediums. Is he going to be able to make this one stuck? Yes, he is. Very good racing between the both of them once again. And Iconex into P6, Swift in behind on mediums as well to see if he can capitalize on this as well. But yeah, I was going to say Robert took advantage of it, but now it's Poldypoles in the lead, and he's got 1.4 seconds ahead of Jordan, who is Energetic still behind him. Let's see if these guys can catch. Poldypoles making a bit of a mistake though there, through the hairpin of turn number 13, and he is now got Jordan back in a second of him. Iconex is on the back of Robertson, and Iconex's pace looking quite solid here in the dry. So we'll have to see if he can keep on that. He has used a lot of ERS. Down to 20% on lap 2 is quite a lot. So yeah, I don't know how much he'll be able to progress further, but at least a good start from him. And the rest of this bit is still on the train. Evil Dragon now down into P15 with that spin on lap 1. That's more than see. Poldypoles fastest lap. Their Energetics fastest lap. Energetics looking quite comfortable so far as well. Highest amount of ERS here.
Ooh, Iconex.
Iconex go for a move. Can't quite commit to that one. Turn 1 quite a difficult one to commit to a move. You can't quite do it. Robert having another moment, and Iconex is now going to be able to go through. He's up to P5 here, ahead of the Haas, who is just kind of dropping further back for now as he spins once again through turn 5. It looks like the tires are just done. Almost.
Oh, who's that? Jav. Jav spinning as well. So synchronized spinning there for those two guys as Jav will make his way back around, and Robertson will wait for Ibo to go past before he spins his Haas back in the right direction there. But Polypole still leads by a second over Jordan. Energetics, 6/10 of a second behind. Ghost UK struggling, it seems. 2.5 seconds already off of the trio up in front of him. Iconex on those medium tires looking to make as much progress as absolutely possible at the beginning of this race. Of course, he started, what, P11, I want to say? So he's already up 6 positions here at the beginning of this one into P5 as we head in across the bridge into turn 13 there. And now Iconex opening up the DRS for the first time. He's not going to be able to make a move on Ghost UK here into turn 14, but he's going to be looking for one as he goes
Ooh.
straight on and breaks his wing. Oh no, and then he gets tagged by Ecos Mats there, and that has absolutely ruined everything that he's just done.
Oh, what a shame. He's just gone deep. I think he tried to turn around. He thought he was clear of the wall, and then he just kind of accelerated into it. Oh, that's unfortunate to see. He made such good progress, but now he's down into P15 and gonna have to change his wing in the pits. And yeah, that is a shame for him. He's gonna have to hope for a safety car. Meanwhile, his teammate is right behind Swift now, as you see more yellow flags for Serial Killer going around this time. Steban going through on Swift, and Ghost Recon trying to follow him through as well. After Coliban, down to P16, obviously ahead of Old School still. He's now up to P7, so a very good start for the American as well. Iconex now down and gonna change his wing, and I reckon Robert is in to do the exact same thing. Gaps at the front staying
Evil
quite
Dragon.
stagnant. Evil Dragon has gone round once again as well. Turn 5. There's a few corners that people seem to be struggling with. As Ghost Recon's gone through on Steban on P6, and he's through, and now is ready to chase after Max up ahead. Gap is 5 seconds. Let's see if he can close up.
Yeah, let's see if Ghost Recon's able to close that gap. Ecos Mats trying to close up to the back of Ghost UK. Of course, Mats was battling with Iconex a little bit earlier on this one. Of course, he did concede the position before Iconex decided to go straight instead of turning at turn 14. So yeah, Ghost UK was shaken in his boots a little bit, but after that incident, or after that crash, I think he'll be just fine now, sitting in his P4 with Ecos Mats just 1.2 seconds behind him. Esteban still within DRS range of Ghost Recon in front of him. Jamie Met dropping off a little bit. Swip, though, his teammate, the two Aston Martins, P8, P9 right now. This would be a good result for them if the race were to finish right now, but of course, we still have another 27 or so laps to go, and Swip being on the medium tires that he started on, the only medium starter left out there who hasn't pit yet. Of course, Robertson was pit to hards. Iconex pit to another set of mediums after changing his front wing. So we'll have to see how their strategies will progress as we get further along into this race. But just looking up at the front, Polypole still leading, and Jordan trying to cling on to possible DRS, but I think he's just missed out here. Polypoles, though, has a lot more ERS than Jordan because Jordan's been pushing, trying to get within a second of our race leader, and Energetics right behind him, still on 50% or above 50% ERS, and he has the DRS, which is helping him along.
Yeah, it's helping me along, and I think Energetics is the one looking for a move soon enough, as Old School's getting his way past Slip, who's not enjoying those medium tires as of right now, I think. The Energetics looks like the quickest one, as Iconex picks up the first 3-second time penalty of this race. If Energetics can make his way past Jordan, and he might be able to hunt down towards a race victory here. But obviously, around Singapore is very difficult to overtake, so we'll have to see if they are able to do that. As of right now, it doesn't look like it, but see later on. In the meantime, with P4 and P5, Ghost UK and Master kind of just there in the middle of nowhere. 4 seconds ahead of Ghost UK, we have the leading group, and then behind Matt, a good 6.5 seconds now, is Ghost Recon. So the gaps are quite big already there, and I think them two are going to be in a battle of their own, as Energetic is really hounding on the back of Jordan now, and looking to maybe get through here very soon. Tutu's behind, I think turn 1, he might be able to go for it. ERS is on, and he goes down the inside, he's going to be able to make this one stick, very cautious done. As Ghost UK's gone into the pits. I think that's a bit early to be a regular pit stop. Energetic not completing a move. And I think there's a wing change here for Ghost UK, he's gone on to medium, so yeah, that's unfortunate to see for him.
Yeah, it is a front wing change indeed for the Alpine driver, and he's switching to a set of medium tires. It didn't look like it affected him too much. However, as Energetics makes his way past Jordan into turn 7 there, Jordan's going to look around the outside. He's just going to get squeezed out, it looks like. He still has the inside line as we head into 9, and yeah, he's going to regain that position from Energetics there. Good fight back by Jordan as he's able to keep P2, but now they have well and truly dropped well away from DRS from Pole Poles now, and Ecosmats has caught a little bit. Iconex has the fast lap of the race on the medium set of tires on a 42.783. Ghost Recon still has Esteban and Jamie Met now right behind him. If we have yellow flags, it's Evil Dragon and Jav, I think. Jav
It's just
is...
Jaff having a spin, I think.
Yeah.
Just gone round out of turn 8. Evil Dragon might be involved in something there. I'm not too sure. He's backing up quite a bit. He's let Serial Killer through there. I'm not too sure what's going on there. Figure out maybe some other time. So I think he's slowing down more. Just checking where that's gonna leave. Not too quite sure what he's doing, honestly. Maybe trying to let Jav back through, but he's gonna drop behind Ghost K with that as well. He's backing up. Gonna check what this is gonna be. Yeah, he's letting Jav through. I'm guessing he must have either like tapped him or something and just tried to let him back through. It's just good sportsmanship there from the McLaren. If there's nothing more going on, as he has just crashed there. Looks like he just went straight on.
I have no idea what I just watched.
Interesting. We have a safety car though. That's gonna bring all the grid close together.
Okay then, that's strange. Well, Ghost UK will stay out then. Serial Killer will pit, of course. I'm surprised Ibo isn't pitting. Well, I don't know if I should be. Jav is pitting for sure. I wonder if Jav will take a front wing here. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Of course, I'd imagine Iconex would probably pit if he has a fresh set of hards. Try and get to the end. No front wing for Jav, so yeah, it must have been what you were suggesting, that Evil Dragon just tapped him around. And Robertson will stay out as well. So I'm guessing, what do the leaders do here then? Do they pit from... You can't make it to the end on mediums.
No, it's too early to
You'd have to
go
stay
to the
out.
mediums. I guess you just stay out at that point.
Yeah.
Someone like Swip could very well benefit from this. He has the pace to do it. From Swip, there's no doubt in my mind than pitting. Same probably for Goshike. Although he's on a better set of tires, so he might just anticipate another safety car and then just, in that sense, try and gain track position as much as you can. But again, it's Singapore. Are you going to be able to? No, we see Polypus in though.
No.
No, we don't. Wrong. Jordan stayed out. Energetic stayed out. I think Matt stayed out as well. I don't think any of these hard runners will go in. I wouldn't do it. I don't think you're going to make it to the end. Because Recon... Steban is the one gambling on it. Jamie Met as well, and I think Olsko as well, and to be honest, Olsko I'm not too surprised by. From Sweat, I'm pitting as soon as I can. He's not done that. It turned out, I don't know why. That's like the most straightforward pit stop that you would get. Pitting from mediums to hards. Gets 20 plus laps. Perfect. So maybe he didn't want to get held up by his teammate, but he's going to get held up by the safety car now, so don't see the point in that. Yeah, as predicted, these guys all going on to mediums, so they're probably going to try and make their way to the end. It's going to be very difficult to do. Goshike getting ahead just about of Steban, so he's back up to P8, even with that wing change earlier on. Yeah, very peculiar decision there from Swip. I'm not too sure what he's doing, honestly.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea what was going on through Swip's head there, but either way, he stays out. He's on 7-lap old medium tires, and now the only driver behind him who has not pit, of course, Ibo P12 and then Jess P7, and now they're going to have drivers on fresh or fresh enough mediums. Ghost UK, Esteban, Jamie Met, Old School, Iconex, who's been on his tires for half of the race distance so far, and then Serial Killer P14 and then Robertson on hards. Jav just pitting for softs, which is a strange one. But
Very strange decision, that.
yeah, I'm not.
Might just go for track position. Who knows?
Yeah, I guess I'll just have to see. But either way, Polypoles leads from Jordan Energetics, who were scrapping it out a little bit right before the safety car. And then Jamie Met, or not Jamie Met, Ecos Mats, Ghost Recon are your top 5. So, I'm not really sure where the strategy goes from here. Polypoles faking once again. He did it that last lap. And, well, the last time there was no one within 4 seconds of him, so no one could even really see him fake, except for me. So, yep, good job, Polypoles. Congratulations. But yeah, I'm not really sure where the strategy goes from here. Jordan in the chat saying, rain soon.
Oh.
So that
Well,
could
that
be
throws a
interesting.
few things around. That maybe explains why Swift has stayed out. That does explain it. And that explains also why Jav's gone on to softs. Old School is now... Is he going to try to go on to softs? I'm not so sure what he's attempting. Or is he... Yeah, that's softs. No, inters. Am I saying that
Inters.
right?
What?
That's inters. So, if the rain is that soon... then he might be on for something. The pit loss is quite a lot here. The inters aren't horrendous around the dry conditions. You have to take care, definitely. It's a very old school strategy.
Old school in what way, though? Like, that was horrible. I'm sorry.
Play stance. Jav, he's gone back in from soft. Is he gonna go to inters as well? Is he gonna follow old school and
There's no way, right?
gamble it?
Oh my god, he's going
And I think
inters.
by
I don't
doing this,
believe it.
they're also extending. They are. So
I don't believe it.
I don't blame him. I honestly think if the rain comes in the next couple laps, they might be on for a master stroke here. But
Either way, the
Jav,
safety car I think
by
is going to be
pitting-
in this lap or next lap.
No, because next lap.
Nah,
So
next
old
lap.
school will catch. I don't know if Jav will catch.
Probably.
Obviously, by
not.
pitting again, they've extended the rain. Well, they've brought the rain further inwards as well, to where they're pitting. So, this is a very interesting strategy, and let's see if it works. And also, I mean, this changes the things at the top as well. Like, if you're Steban or Jamie Met, you have very fresh tires. Ghost K as well, actually, still on pretty fresh mediums. If the rain stays out for a while, then they could gain a lot of track position, and then that way gain an advantage within this race as well. Have to see if this rain is going to come. Obviously, if you're Singapore, you can't quite see if it's cloudy or whatever. So who knows what's going to do. I see Swip in as well. Is he following Mark's old school strategy? Trying to go to inters as well. I'm not too sure if this could be complete disaster or this could be huge. Robertson, I think, is doing the same as old school, following his teammate. No, Swip is on softs now.
I'm so confused.
Robert is gonna be on inters. Yeah, he's followed old school strategy. Swip hasn't. So things maybe that the fresher softs might be an advantage for a few laps, and then if the rain hits, I mean, could be perfect. Who knows?
What am I looking at right now? Like, I'm
honestly not sure, but it's very entertaining. I can't lie.
I have no idea what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at drivers on normal strategies, drivers who made a decision on a strategy. Well, Swip stayed out, and then he waited so long, and then he pit for softs. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I guess you have the fresher softs now. You don't lose that much track position. I kind of get it.
I mean, he was in 7th, and now he's 14th.
But yeah, but if you can get there on the softs, I mean... And if the rain extends, as just see Polypus hitting the wall there.
Ooh, no damage, it looks
not
like.
any visible damage. It was a small tap. I don't know if it's any big damage. Not any big damage anyway, but it could harm him if there is any damage. I think the safety car will be in this lap. I think Jav has made the wrong call here by extending this long, but
I think Jav should have stayed on the softs. I think
the two halves.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should have. He did it too many times.
Yeah.
Unless Polipus completely backs it up here down towards the finish line, he's not going to be able to
I
go
don't
quite.
think you can go that
Anyway.
slow. Unfortunately.
Maybe. But still, Jaff might close up more. Who knows? We'll have to see. So, yeah, Polipus slowing it down quite a bit. They're going to get ready for the safety car restart. I'm so confused with what's happening. If this rain is actually going to come, this is... Yeah, going to be very interesting. And if it doesn't, it is going to be very interesting as well. So, at least we're in for an interesting restart here. Polipus, he's gone now, out of turn number 21, and he's caught Jordan a bit napping. I think Energetics has got a good run here, but out of the final corner, he's not quite able to go for it. No rain yet, so keep an eye if that changes anytime soon. You see Ibo being slowed down here as Iconix is going for a move, and Serial Killer looking for a move as well. He's gone for an Ibo as well, so if that's working. Let's see how these Inter runners is going to be able to do. I mean, they're not completely dropping off just yet, but it's not quite nice. So Ibo's just going out of the way there. Swift is going to get through. So Goshike's gone through on Jess, and I think Goshike, I mean, if this rain is going to come in like 5 left, then I think he's in a great position with those mediums. Swift is on the soft through on Old School, and he's into P12 right now. The top guys, it could be that Polipus has got damage from that little tap, because he's not quite pulling away the way he was before. And there's Jordan right behind him, actually, so it could be that the Alfa Romeo is running with some light damage. Jordan is kind of looking towards the inside, but not quite able to get alongside in the hairpin. Very daring move if you do try that. Zenith made a bit of a mistake and might allow Equals Matt to go for a move. He's looking around the outside, there are 14, so Iconix did this before. Let's see if Matt's going to be able to do this. Still side by side into 15. And there is some spots of rain. And this could be perfect for Old School. If they can keep the Inters alive and it goes to Inters very soon, this could be perfect. Still side by side between these two Dutchies. And it looks like Mats is going to be able to make this move. No, still side by side. This is going to slow the whole pack up here. Are they ever going to give this up? Because this is going on for quite a while. And still down into towards turn 22 and 3. Now Ghost Rickon is trying to get involved as well. Has to be closed out there. This rain is going to turn it on its head now. Steban is gone in. Yeah, he's deciding on it. Let's see how Old School and Robertson are going to be in this. As Mass is getting through on Energetics this time for good. It looks like no, they're still side by side for turn 3.
Jesus.
And I don't know how they're keeping this alive. Ghost Rickon is now trying to make an end to this. As he's trying to go around the outside of both of them. Has to back out once again. Ghost UK is now on the back of this. As Jordan has gone past Polipus and he's now into the lead. But with this rain coming, I don't know how this is going to go. Yellow flags. Here's Jaffa spun at the final corner. More side-by-side action. Well, if you have a safety car...
What? What's the safety car for?
That must have been for Jaff spin. That's the only thing I could think. He got going again. But, yeah, that's the only thing that I can recognize. Now,
what's the call?
I think Old School's in a great position here. Both Hollises are, actually.
Yeah,
They don't have to pit.
This
what
is interesting.
What a weird race. Or, I mean, do you remember Portugal? Because at that point we had, a wet race that went to dry. It looked like it went to dries, and then it went straight back to Inters under a safety car period. It could be the complete opposite now, where it looks like a dry race. It looks like it's going to be Inters, and then it comes back to dry. But who knows at this point? The Serial Killer and Jamie Met, they gotta make a decision who goes ahead here, because there's obviously a mess going on with the legal overtakes or whatnot. Let's see, are these guys gonna come into the pits? If they go into the pits, very clear it's gonna be Inters. If it's gonna, the engineer says it's gonna dry up in a few minutes, and it's obviously not that case. Let's see, who goes
Jordan in.
Yeah, it does look like it's getting heavier though, if you... kind of seeing around the lights. It looks like everyone's just
Ghost UK staying out.
No, he's staying out. He thinks he can do this on the medium. Wild strategy. Serial Killer having a very dodgy pit entry there. Brakes just there. What is that? I'm sorry. What? And Jamie Matt's got a 5-second penalty.
Is Jamie Matt going to change his front wing now because of this? Oh, he's changing his front wing. Oh no.
I feel so bad for him, because that is just I'm sorry, that was horrendous driving, son. If you don't brake there, you don't need to brake. You were already going like 20 miles an hour. I can't lie. So Swift has now stayed out with Ibo still in the heart and Ghost on the mediums. Right, where is this gonna go? I have no clue. Technically, Old School's in the mid lead.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. Okay, so strategy. It's happening. Ghost UK on mediums, Swip on softs. Ibo is on hards, as you mentioned already. People have penalties. Swip, Ibo, and iConnects have 3 seconds. Jamie Met got a 5 second that, if he doesn't pit again, I would imagine would probably get removed. As we just watched Ibo cut turn 11 there, or turn 10. Excuse me.
Oh,
So.
Jordan has now left.
Ooh.
So let me see if I can invite him back, that he can hopefully get back in, or he has a spare invite from Swip, potentially. So everything is going on here except the right things here. Uh,
I cannot invite him, unfortunately.
yeah, no, it says he's joined, so hopefully he can use one of the spare invites from Swip if he's still listening. It is very clearly wet now, so
Yeah.
these guys have stayed out. I expect them to be in this lap. Yeah, because this is definitely not dry. But I respect their courage for trying it. Hopefully, it pays off for them. If they do still stay out, I might actually just give up at this point. But you gotta give up at some point, I guess. Let's see. No, they're going in. Okay, right. I mean, I guess if it didn't go that way, it could have happened. Ibo going in as well. Yeah. That means the two Haas's are now in the lead. Their call earlier, the first safety car, has paid off.
Yeah. The only problem is that the tires are very old, compared to everyone around them.
Very.
Well,
It's a
they were
couple
going around
laps.
for 3 laps in dry conditions on inters. Which,
Yeah, but still the Inters don't wear that much.
yeah,
It's
I
not
guess.
that bad. So, and obviously compared to where they were outside the top 10. Or at least Old School was around 8th, and then Robertson was outside the top 10, I think. It's definitely an improvement so far, and I think this gives them a better chance at, trying to capitalize. Obviously, you saw Robertson spinning on lap 1. He's back up here. If he can keep it going this time, but make sure you don't spin at the final corner again. He's hearing me. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Let's hope Jordan can back in the session as well. So we have a fair and square race here. Yeah, we'll have to see how this is going to go.
Yeah, I would just like to mention, I'm tuning into Division 2. I just clicked onto it. We're ahead of Division 2 still. They
Huh.
currently have 12 drivers running out of 19 on lap 13.
Yeah, I heard there was a bit of a lap 1 incident, so
I'm hearing that T-Brum was to blame. That's
okay. Oh, it's an RL drive, so I'm not too surprised.
yeah, but there is a T-Brum out, Koskappen out, Scream out, Larkin out, Coxie out, Evans out, and Sen are all out currently. So
So yeah, that's
Singapore
quite
is
a
doing
reduced
its
grid.
thing.
Yeah. We're doing better here in D4. Only one DNF with Evil Dragon on lap number, I think 7 it was. He crashed into turn 17.
Yep.
Um,
No, yep,
Gonna
17.
go one more lap on the safety car. Just gonna see. He's gonna go. It's definitely wet here, so definitely no dry tires anytime soon. But if these horses can hold on, if they have the pace, they could be on for a very good result. And meantime, I want to shout out to Ghost Recon as well. He's been living a Coliban. He's shown quite good pace, and he's up to P6. Potentially, he's on for a very good result himself as well. And yeah, other than that, we'll just have to see. Just hoping that Jordan can back in. But I feel like his internet has just died. That's what I'm given. Let's hope it's restored though.
Yeah, hopefully Jordan can get back into the session because currently he'd be finding himself in a very good P3 right now because his championship rival, Pulls, is in 7th, which would currently give him, what is that, 11 points, I think? 15 to 6? I think that would give him 11 points in the championship, which would bring the gap down to 36. So it would be a good little result for him to, as it stands right now, to get him back into the championship fight, possibly with before the Easter break next week. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how the rest of this race is going to pan out. Of course, we're under safety car until the end of this lap. No one deciding to pit after the guys who are on the dry tires made their walk of shame to the pit lane. But we'll just have to wait and see because Old School disqualified himself from qualifying, or the pit lane crashed into him, sorry, at the beginning of qualifying, started 17th. And Robertson was on pole position at the beginning of this race. Only 15 laps, 14 and a half laps to go. And now Old School is leading and Robertson is second. And Robertson also had a spin, and I think he was last at one point in this race. So we've had quite the turn of events.
Yeah, Jordan's joined back, so hopefully he can get back in his car before Old School's restart of this race. Would be as fair as possible, obviously. But his previous form with loading times might not help with that. But at least he can get back in as soon as he can. And then get going. Let's see if these horses can strategize this. Yeah, oh, Jordan is back in. You can see. Just the little flick on the left-hand side. I think he's running, looking like. At least he's in the session. Old School, just gonna wait. Can't go yet. He's quite close to the safety car still. Obviously, with the wet conditions, that safety car's not going to go anywhere. Let's see when he is going to go. Jordan is definitely in now. As waiting for the final corner. I think he's going to go just out of here. It looks like. No, he's running it all the way down the line. Now he's gone. Now he's gone. Him and his teammates are gone, and it looks like they've had a good restart. Goes Recon. That's a really good restart. He's alongside Matt. Able to complete that move. Then turn one. Yellow flags Ibo just either going around or letting people by. Goes Recon down into P6, not quite able to complete that move. The Crystal takes attack now because Recon getting alongside once again. Matt's closing that gap quite harshly there.
Energetics.
As we see Energetics having a moment, and he's going to lose a few positions here down into P6. Trying to find Pulpus off here. Goes Recon, still trying to go for a move. Down into turn 7, still side by side. Bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. Matt's going off there. It looks like they are still side by side through into turn 8. See more yellow flags. I think that's Iconex going around for whatever reason or not. See Energetics and Pulpus going to the same battle side by side and down towards turn 10. Does Regan come out ahead in that one as Robertson is now retired going through turn 10, so he's not been able to capitalize on this situation. Now we have another safety car.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
That's going to change absolutely nothing.
Well,
unfortunately.
It changes a few things. Pulse was obviously able to get past Energetics. Energetics dropped 2 places. Past Ghost Recon, Mats, and Pulse. It was a good move there from Pulse. Old School will still lead this race. Jordan might get reported for being AI under the entire safety car. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I think there was one more move down at the back of the field. Maybe Serial Killer on Jess. Didn't quite catch it, or maybe Swift.
Yeah, and Iconex went around, obviously, you saw. I don't know if he has any damage, but if he does have some,
doesn't
get a repair.
Look like it.
Yeah, no visible damage anyway. At least let him catch it back up. I guess it does that. If you're hearing some noises behind me, by the way, I don't know if it's hearable, but there's a lot going on here. Apparently Dutch people think it's appropriate to shoot off fireworks at any time here.
Oh, that's just the Dutch way, though.
Yeah, it definitely is. Let's see if anyone's coming in. I think Jamie Metz coming in. He might... Wait, no, he's served 5 seconds, I think. Doesn't look like he has it anymore. I'm not too sure what he's going in for. Let's see.
I think he would have served it
Maybe he has
on
some
his
more
last
damage.
pit stop.
He's going for wets. That's full wets.
Ooh, that could be interesting. Ibo's doing the same as well. And a front wing.
Is it wet enough? I don't know. It looks pretty wet, but full?
Still looks like Inter's.
It does, but you never know in this game. was going to be. I do believe this, but maybe the engineer says, "Oh, heavy rain is coming," and you never know whether that's going to be actually inches or wets. That's usually about on the clipping points. Yeah, very interesting. If that's another strategy that's being thrown into the mix now. Let's see if it's going to pay off in any way or not.
I wish we could get the weather
Wait.
forecast up here.
Yeah, that'd be so great, but I feel like people would listen in and then get an advantage from that because I
I
don't
mean,
think
they
that
would
would
have
be
the
good.
same thing, but
True. I mean, they have a weather forecast, but like obviously you can't see which tires that quite means. So it's also just kind of feeling it out and hoping and praying at times, and sometimes a bit of luck involved as well. But nothing changed at the front, apart from Robertson then obviously falling out there. Old School leading ahead of Jordan, and goes Recon up into P3. And knowing he's one of the more willing to fight drivers, Williams is, I think he could be able to try and attack Jordan and Old School if he does have the pace for this. And he might be in for a shout. So he's one I do definitely see attacking. So keep an eye on that. And obviously Potapus, if he sees Jordan up in there in P2, I mean he's not losing too many points, it's about 8 so far. So has a pretty big lead obviously in the championship. But he obviously wants to reduce that as much as he can, so I think we could see him on for a move as well. But then Jordan's teammate is right ahead of him, so how easy that's going to get, don't know.
yeah, just looking at the position changes as people start to swap positions.
Yeah,
Swip is in. I'd imagine that would be for full wet, same as Iconix. It
that's
is
far away,
raining
by the way.
pretty hard in the pit lane.
Yeah,
Iconix, yeah, for inters.
it does. Yeah, Iconix for Inters, that's a weird one. Is he serving a penalty maybe? Hang on. Let me check if he got
He
a
might have taken
penalty
a
earlier.
front wing.
It did take a while for him to get this done. Let me check if he served any sort of penalty here.
I think it was for a
It doesn't
front
look like it.
wing. So,
So yeah, it must have been a front wing. Getting fresher Inters might help him a little bit, who knows. And yeah, obviously both Astons now on the wet, Ibo as well. Let's see how that's gonna go for them. And they can capitalize and have made the right decision on this one.
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the strategy will pan out. Of course, just looking at the positions change right now, Old School up 16 places from last to first as it stands right now in P18. Early
No.
driver of the day vote
Yeah,
right now.
he was saying he was going for it. So you know, if he makes it work, I'll definitely give him a shout in there because it's obviously a very good drive, a very strategic drive for him to make sure that Inters have worked properly. And yeah, he's up there for now, but we still have a good 13 laps of racing remaining. How much of that is going to be on the safety car, we don't know. I'm guessing about half. He's going to probably get back in this lap. I think it'll be a later call given the Ferrari Viconix not having catch up completely. So I reckon we'll get a call in about a corner or two. Let's see if the Ferrari is very close to the back of Swift now, and that means, yep, there it is. The safety car in this lap, so Old School
It's
is going to
raining
lead this.
extremely hard.
Yeah, I think this could be the right call for Jamie Met and Swip and Ibo as well. How much Ibo's going to do with it, I don't know.
Ooh.
So they have a penalty for Matt having a severe collision with Ghost Recon. I'm not sure what that is going to be all
That
about.
could screw him if people have to pit for full wets, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. If he's still behind Jordan as well, pitting on the same lap.
Do you
Let's see
pit,
if
though?
these wets are going to work though. Also slowing it down a lot once again.
Jordan's in. Jordan's in.
Jordan's in.
Same,
Is
Ghost
he-
Recon,
is he-
Energetic staying out. I think only Energetics, Esteban, only a few drivers are staying out.
No, it's about half-half. Let's see, Jay Met's now up to P7, Serial Killer's up at P3.
Ooh, Old School
And
struggling.
it looks like these engines are very cold. Yeah, these engines are very cold. Looking for a Serial Killer and Old School as well. You've seen it, they're just not going anywhere. Jamie Met is making his way through. Energetics is now into the lead there, and looks like Serial Killer wants to get through there as well. I think Jamie Met and Ibo looking like they could gain some positions here. Swift here's up here as well. I'm honestly confused with what's going on. Olsko's definitely not kept his sights up to Tim. He's down into P3 now with Steban and Jaff going basically next to him. Olsko going a bit wide there. Steban having a spin round. Serial Killer is now gone through on Energetics as well. Serial Killer is into the lead for now on those Inters. The other guys behind us fitted onto West. So Jordan, Bullipus, Ghost Recon, Ghost UK, and Matt. Olsko just keeping those positions. So Jamie Matt is the one gaining. He is up into P4, right behind Jav now. And you're just seeing that those Inters just don't have any temperature left in them. And both Astons are now up for a 1-2 potentially here. But obviously these guys are getting held up. It looks like JMF wants to go through there on Jav, but not quite able to.
Ooh, gives him
Very
a tap.
tight section, obviously. Yeah, bit of a tap there on the exit. Let's see. It's going to be very difficult to actually get through though, because where are you going to overtake? Swip is now through, let through by JMF. They go basically side by side into the corner. Swip's now ahead. He's going to have to make the moves. He's getting alongside Jav, and Energetics is very slow there. It's going to be very interesting as they almost go free wide here on the exit. That's not going to work. Both Astons are trying to make their way through, but it's basically a roadblock, and this is allowing Jordan and that whole bunch to get back through. Swip is now on the back of Energetics. Is he going to be able to get a move on? I think all these interrunners should pit this lap. Serial Killer's out in the lead. He's going to manage it. He's not coming in. Serial Killer thinks, you know what, I can
Everyone's
do this.
staying out.
Every one of these interrunners is staying out. And it looks like J-Math has a very good run out of the final corner. He's for Energetics, and now 3 and 4 for the Astons here. Ibo is now up to P5, and potentially a net P3, which is absolutely idiotic to say. He's going for the move on Jamie Met here, on the inside. Side by side, I see Flip up ahead going into P2, ahead of Jaff. I see Jamie
What a move, Ibo.
Ibo is up at the P4 here. This is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, a great
Ibo's
move. Oh,
gunning
sorry.
for it.
Great move there by Ibo through turn 5. As we head through turn 6, it looks like Jess and iConnex are going side by side. And once you get up to full racing speed, you can tell how much harder it's raining. The rain's getting harder since the safety cars come into the pit lane. So these inter drivers are just gonna be struggling even more and more. Jordan has already caught the length of whatever you lose in the pit lane in a lap and a half to Esteban. Of course, Esteban had a spin and has another spin as well. And now Jordan's on the back of iConnex as well. Let's see how. Let's see how much easier it is for Jordan. He just drives around him like he's not even there.
Safety car.
Ooh, Jordan iConnex might have just gotten damaged there. As Jamie picks up a 5-second penalty. Oh no, he might be able to get that removed. But I'd imagine the interrunners have to stay out here, right?
Through for Polypus. And I just put up with Steban. He's just crashed on a safety car. There's no grip and no front wing, and just bolted into the wall. Polypus is going to have to serve that drive through after the safety car. He can't save it down there. What is going on in this race?
Oh my goodness. This changes almost everything in the championship. If Jordan could get up to the front, if the interrunners pit.
Yeah, and you'd expect most of them, maybe Serial Killer, because he's in the lead, he might think, you know what, screw it, I'm going for it.
All Jordan has to do, if the interrunners pit, he has to get past Jamie Met, Ibo, and Swip, which I don't want to be disrespectful, but they aren't going to put up the biggest of fights.
Yeah, Serial Killer's in. Jav is staying out.
Ooh, okay. Good call by Jav.
Energetic's staying out. Old School is staying. Is it maybe going back? Because that could happen. Does it go back to into the...
Serial Killer's the only one to pit.
He's the only one. So my prediction is completely wrong. They've all listened to the opposite of what I've done. Ibo's now in P2, with Swip in the lead, and Jav in P3.
Stop the count. Red flag the race. Red flag the race.
Removal penalties, and that should be done, I think. What? I'm so confused with what's going on in this race, and I think everyone watching should be. Just gonna mention that, B4 is Matt currently, so let's get some viewers in. Because Swift in the lead, Ibo second, and Jaff third is a top 3 I've not seen before.
I don't think we'll ever see this top 3 again. But
I don't think so, no.
oh my goodness, especially at Singapore as well. Out of all the tracks that it could have been, it's Singapore. Yeah. Well, let's pull up the penalties real quick. So Swip with 3 seconds, Ibbo with 6, Jamie out with 5, I connect with 3, and then of course Poldy pulls with a drive-through penalty. We're having green and blue is all over my screen currently with the inners and the wets. How many drivers is that? 5 drivers are out on the inters right now. The rest of the drivers are out on the full wets. There's not a lot has really changed since the last time we looked, besides Robertson retiring, Esteban retiring, and Old School dropping down to P6. And I said not a lot has changed. Everything has almost changed in this race. We've gone full wet conditions. Swip is leading, Ibbo second. Polly Pulls has a drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car. Jordan is 8th in a prime position to close up quite a few points in the championship. And all we're doing is waiting for the inner runners to kind of get out of the way. It's going to be difficult for drivers to get past them, as we saw earlier on when 2 intermediate drivers were creating a roadblock in the middle of the why is Ibbo pitting? No, not like this. Not like this,
There's people
Ibbo.
going in.
Not like this.
No.
Not like this.
Old School's gone in as well now.
But Old School's on inters. Why is Ibbo going to inters? No, he's taking a front wing. Okay.
Okay, well.
But still, why inters? It looks like full wet conditions.
What's telling, Old School's going to fresh end of inters. Does it go back to live rain? Is that what's going to be the case? In which case, Ibbo's in the prime position.
There are literal puddles on the track. And that doesn't happen.
No, but you know, I quickly the weather changes around this game.
Yeah, true.
If in 2 or 3 laps it's indoors, I mean, this could be ready to call again. But we saw again how much Jordan closed up on those full wets in full wet conditions, so... I'm so confused. I think everyone was led at some point this race. For my feeling anyway. Everyone's been lost as well, so... I'm not too sure what's going on here. The Astons look like they're in the right position here, with all current conditions, and Jordan as well then. And potentially the wet runners behind as well, but it's quite unpredictable right now, to say the least. I'll tell you, to have this in real life, this would be probably the most viewed race in history. Swip is going to lead the safety car restart. I think we should go in this lap. I have another 9 laps of green flag racing potentially. And everything could be upside down in 2 or 3 laps when, you know, another safety car comes out because someone else has crashed. We'll have to see. Polypus will be serving his drive for penalties, so I think we're just waiting for Ibbo and Old School to catch up to the safety car. That might take a bit. Could be another lap, honestly. We'll have to see. Yeah, I think it's going to be another lap. Judging by the pace where Old School's going at. Not going full throttle, so it doesn't look like it's going to be another lap. It could be very late call if he does catch up. We'll have to see. I think he's trying to extend it though, is what I'm gauging at. I'll have to see. Ibbo is not quite caught up either. But I think we're going to go another lap on the safety car. Is anyone going to decide to throw it up again and go in once again? Doesn't look like it so far, but honestly, I don't know at this point anymore. And yeah, no, we've seen people go in. Go Chicane and Serial Killer, both Alpes are in, and I'm very confused as that is. That must be Inters. It must be going back to Inters. No, Old School's back in.
It's not raining as hard anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, where are you going to? Let's see. This Inters going on for Go Chicane. I'm expecting Serial Killer to do the same.
Yeah, Inters.
That's going to be Inters.
Old School, I'd imagine Inters is... Why is he pitting?
Or is he going to go wets and then...
No, don't go wets. Please. Oh, he's taking a front wing. That explains it.
That does
and he's taking Inters.
Yeah, that should be... Yeah, Inters again. So, we now have a position where if it Inters...
Jordan, please pit for
Jaff is
Inters.
in the lead.
Oh...
And
my
Energetics
goodness.
is second and Jess is third. So... I'm so confused at this point. And then Jordan might be in the wrong position again together with Voltopus, because Voltopus has to drive through the turf before he can even go to the inters.
Or he could pit. He could pit. Well, if he pits right now, would it serve
No.
the drive-through or would it?
I don't. I think it's gonna go in this lap
No,
anyway.
I think
so you
if
can serve
if Poldypol's pit on the last lap, he would have pit for inters and then he serve the drive-through.
Yeah, I think so.
Or at least that's how I experienced it a few games ago. And don't ask about that. We don't have to talk about that.
Yeah, you never know that. It's definitely enters now, though. Look at it.
Yeah, it's not raining. It's barely raining anymore.
At least for the levels of the F1 game, it is not raining that much. What is this race, honestly? We might see Drive running at the end of this point. I would not be surprised. Safety car's in this lap. Is also even going to catch up? That's my question. Maybe just about. He's going to be limited now to a Delta Tower to the limiter. This whip is going to be leading here.
Old School is taking his time, by the way. He's not going very quick.
No, I think that's just a limiter that's not allowing him to go any quicker. That's quite unfortunate for him.
Oh, maybe.
But yeah, Swip leading ahead of Jav and then Jamie Met, and if Jav can win this race, I mean,
he still has to contend with a few fast drivers just behind him, being Energetics.
Yeah, definitely Energetics has been very quick this race. So.
Iconex as well, if he can keep it out of a wall.
Yeah, Iconex as well. Obviously penalty still, but
yep.
I have to see. Not said and done, definitely, but let's see. Swip is leading. He's waiting quite a long time. Jamie Met's gone in. Jamie Met's in the pits.
I think that's
Swip
the right call.
It might be the right call. We'll have to see. 8 laps of green flag racing remaining. See, Energetics now close up the back of Jav. Not quite able to get through. Because Ray can go for a move. Late lunge on Iconex. And has to back out of that one. Not carrying enough speed through. Yeah, hops over the curve to see Mats and Polipus goes outside. Mats making that move complete.
Polipus not serving his drive-through, by the way.
Yeah, not serving his... He might think he can't. That could be the case. As we see Iconex and goes Recon side by side. Iconex losing a few positions there. Jordan going past Energetics. It might still be full wet. They might have a bit more temperature in them. Given lead Swip has got 2.3 seconds, it might still be full wet. Am I wrong in saying this? Is it the case that it's still full? Honestly, I'm very lost as well here. Matt is going through here. Goes Recon's going through on Energetics as well. I'm thinking it's still wet.
Yeah.
They have at least more temperature in them.
Oh!
What's going on?
That's a massive crash. Mats and Iconex have
more safety cars.
driven themselves into a wall. Oh.
I will have to watch that back on the stream later, but that sounded like it was a big crash.
Well, one of them went into the other one, into a wall, and into another wall, if you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean, yeah. So it sounds like very big crash. Bit of a wall sticking out there. It's not helping, obviously. And this is going to throw it again around. Like, if it's going to go into for the next one, who knows?
Poldypol still can't serve his drive-through.
Correct. Yeah, he's gonna have to wait. He's not gonna be in a good position here. Like, he can't be. The safety car's not gonna come in until the end of lap 26 at the very least. So we see the Alpine swapping now. We can't be doing this. We're gonna get penalties at this point. This is not very good. I've seen Serial Killer do it a few times now. He's gonna take a bit more care. Swip is now in. So is it going back to into? I think it is. It goes Recon staying out. So he thinks it's fine. Yeah, Swip and Jordan are in. Polipus is not in. And Matt is in as well, but he has obviously no front wings, so that kind of makes sense as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh my, the Mercedes picker just teleported.
It does look like it's Inters. But also is going to in a few positions of that, so it's Jamie Met. He pitted on the last safety car restart. He's only going to get up to P12 here. Honestly, I don't know what's going on. We're going to get 5 laps of green flag racing, and we'll just see who ends up at the end.
Well, we don't even know if we will.
Be anyone at this point.
Yeah, there could be another safety car right at the end. And Polypoles will have
It
to
could be.
suffer through his drive-through right at the end.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, you'd have to serve on the safety car restart. I think it allows you to. You
Yeah.
have to serve it then. And then just hope for any chaos or just being on the right tire. And he's still on the wets as well. Like,
Yeah, Polypoles is
do
not
they have to
having a
pit the
good
Inters
time.
now? I'm curious if he can pit the Inters. I think he can.
You should be
pit
able
the
to.
Inters. But who knows how that works on this game. Honestly, yeah, Jav's in the chance of winning this. So is Ghost Recon. So is honestly anyone. I'm kind of lost for words. I think this might be the maddest race I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on.
Sound checked out, so that makes complete sense.
Yeah, so Jav leads, followed by Ghost Recon, both of them being on opposite tires. Jav, Energetics, and Jess have been struggling through all of this on the same set of intermediate tires. They have not changed in 12 laps. I think we've had 10 laps of safety car running since they've been on their intermediates. So they kind of just survived up to the front of the field, which is kind of what you need to do in a race like this. Ghost Recon fought his way up to P2, well, on track now, being on those full wets. So he and Polypoles have had a very interesting race. Polypoles a little bit more interesting. But of course, he still has to serve that drive-through, and he'll be disqualified if he does not, which at this point doesn't really matter as long as ECOS mats, or as long as no one pits at the end of the race. He shouldn't score points, should Polypoles. So really, all of our eyes should be, of course, at the front of the race, but also Jordan at the same time.
Oh, Matt has come back in for another wing change. Iconex's left position. He was already out, obviously, with the last crash. Yes, don't know if Matt's... That might actually open up a point for Platypus, who knows. But Jordan, obviously, is not going to gain that much as it stands. He has to gain a lot of positions in the last couple of laps where he wants to gain a lot of points on Platypus as well. So I have to see how that's going to go. And in the meantime, Ibo's Casual is still on P8. Obviously with 6 extra penalties, but he's still right up there. Could be in for some points.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should be going. I think we'll go this lap. It could be next lap as well,
I think
given
it's
that Mass is now
next
so far
lap.
behind.
It should be next lap.
Yeah,
of
so we're
course.
gonna get only 4. That's gonna give an advantage to Jaff, and Energetics and Jess on those older Inters, and maybe Ghost Recon on those wets. But I think those wets won't work anymore at this point. But I could be wrong. I'm honestly as speechless as anyone probably watching this, but yeah.
I just have to point out in the chat, someone saying Jav was dead last, lap 13. Yeah, I think everyone's been last in this race, unfortunately.
Yeah.
To pop your bubble
I
there.
do agree though. Jaff was basically lapped, so.
Yeah.
I remember from one stage ago we said he's pitted too many times and he's not going to catch up again. Well.
It's been a very interesting race. Of course, NLR Esports also in the chat. And then the guy who was praising Jav just in second goal just called him a melon. So don't know what to think of that.
Yes, but he's still sailing in front. So
there are 16 viewers on the D4 stream. Oh, we're having a career day, boys.
Let's go.
Wait, someone pipping? Oh, Swip's in. Why is Swip in? What?
I don't know. Why is Swip in? Why would Swip be in? I don't know. Is it gonna go dry?
No,
Please tell me
it's not gonna go dry. There's no way.
Please tell me it's gonna go dry.
For softs.
Soft.
Why?
Yes.
No. What am I watching? It's still raining.
I don't even know this place. Matt's gonna come in as well. Yeah, he's also in for some.
Oh my god! What am I watching?
Out of full wets.
Dude!
It's not gonna dry up, surely.
What am I looking at? Hold on, I need a screenshot of this. Hold on. No, it didn't even. Whatever.
I try not to laugh, but this is too comical.
All right, I got a screenshot. Let's go.
We have
Oh
now
my
Max getting a 5-second.
Oh my god.
Let's make sure you include that in the screenshot. We do try to stay neutral, but this is very fun.
Dude, what am I watching? I don't know what I'm looking at.
Anyways,
Oh my
we should
god.
go again on this lap. It does actually look like it is sort of drier.
No, it's not. It's still raining. It's still raining.
I'm saying dry. It is dropping, but I mean, there might be another safety car.
Okay, safety
Jav's
car.
gonna lead the safety car. Yeah, he's gonna lead the safety car restart. Let's see how he does this.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Is Swip even catching?
Barely.
He's not even catching. He's barely catching.
Yeah, he's not gonna be on the back of this. I think. Maybe if Jav
He
slows it down
might
enough,
just. Those sauce look terrible.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's.
The only
Fine,
reason
first
Swip
place
is
today, then.
caning is because, what's it called? They're going slow, I think. But yeah, let's get
Yeah.
up to the front. Jav will lead the safety car restart. Ghost Recon will be in P2. We have Inters, full wets, and softs out on the out in the field right now. So, as Larkin has already made the break week announcement in the Discord, we still have 5 more laps here as Matt's retired. So those soft tires obviously not doing anything good for him. Jav leads away across the line down to lap 28. Ghost Recon's going to be looking up the inside into turn 1. Jav is just going to be able to hold that position down for the time being. The two Alpines were battling out on track for P6 and P7. It looks like the full wets still aren't doing too bad out there, but I think it's actually dry. It stopped raining. It stopped raining out on track. So Swip could possibly win this race. I mean, he's still struggling out there on track. Jordan's up to P9. He's past Old School. Polly pulls it down to P6. The full wets are not going to be doing it. Of course, this track still has to dry out. It may have stopped raining, but the track still has to dry out, so you still have to go around on the wet tires. Polly Pulls goes deep into turn 7. Ghost UK makes a little bit of contact with the rear right wheel of Ghost UK. He squeezes them into a wall. Ibo is crashed out at turn 8 there. He went too deep, and he went into the barrier, lost a wheel. Serial Killer is tapped at the back of Polly Pulls for P6 there. So Ibo isn't going to get points. I don't think he's completed 90%. Swip is catching, but not...
It's safety car.
Oh my goodness.
This is gonna be mad. I think
Jav's gonna win.
Jav's
gonna win.
is gonna win. Because it's gonna be closer to the dry period now. Swift gets to catch up, and by the time we might restart, and Polipos still has to surface right through. By the way, I'd just like to point that out. Otherwise, I think if he can't surf it, then he has to take like a 20-second penalty. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's a 20-second penalty.
Yeah. But that be in that case, I think Swip, at this point you have to say it, you have to commit to it. If I see Swip in again, I might actually punch it. But let's see what let's see what the top guys do though. Especially the guys on the west. It's definitely Inter still, but is it going to be Inters in 2 laps time? Or 1 lap time?
I mean, at this point, you kind of just have to firm it, right?
Energetics is in.
Ooh.
Energetics is in.
Jess in?
Ooh, yes,
Anyone else?
Jamie Met out. Polipus stayed out.
Old School. Jamie Met, Old School, Swip stays out. Okay.
Yeah, Swip stays out. Okay, so Swip is going to be in like P7?
Yes, P7.
Obviously, he still has a penalty as well. That's not going to help him.
Just went to wets. Why?
What? No!
No! You can't do that! No, not... Oh my goodness. Someone's
gonna come in this last.
Someone's been asked to be unbanned from LOE, by the way, in the chat, so I'm sure you could take care of that.
Take a look at that. Potentially.
And we also have 30 viewers now in the D4 stream.
I'm not surprised at this point. This might be the maddest race I have ever commentated on. There's people on wets, softs, and there's more people on wets. No, there isn't. I was gonna say, there's 3 people on wets, there's 5 people on inters, there's 4 people on softs. So, go figure what the track actually is like. It looked
If
like
we
Vinters.
if we had one more driver on wets, we'd have the perfect split between inters, wets, and softs.
No, we can't because we have 11 drivers. You can't have a
Yeah, if we had
perfect
one more
split.
driver.
True. And then it's 4 inters, 4 softs, 3 wets, I should say. The inters do work somewhat in dry conditions, so I don't think they should pit. But you never know. Well, you can't pit. Safe's going to be in this lap, so you see, also is not going to be up here. He's going to be on the dry tire, so people in the wets are going to be screwed. Jazz is doing this race start ahead of Go-Shike, who still could win this race.
Pulls still has a drive-through, by the way, everybody. Just would like to point that out. So
yeah, he still has to drive through and is on wets. So if he manages to outscore anyone here, what?
Yeah, I would just like to mention, everyone to chat. Jav has 11 points this season. He's finished 2 races, I think, so far this season, and Jav is currently on for the. He's currently on for the win. Ghost Recon, I don't think has done anything too special this season. Just looking through, Ghost Recon has 23 points to his name, and our championship leader has a drive-through. Second place in the championship is in P6, but yeah, Jav is going 16-lap-old inters versus 10-lap-old wet tires. Poldypolls has been disqualified, so he's not even going to get points. He's not even going to get the 2 points that he was almost guaranteed. Jav around the outside of turn 1 on Ghost Recon. Ghost UK in the background watching on board with him. Swip is absolutely going to be flying now. I think he's already made his way. Well, he's in front of Energetics by a decent amount. Of course, Swip has a penalty. Energetics does not, so we're just watching up at the front as all the drivers on the wets and the inters are scrapping it out up at the front. Ghost UK has made his way past Ghost Recon. Oh, that's a broken front wing for, I think, Serial Killer. Swip is just watching in the background. Let's see what he's going to do. They're 3 wide almost into turn 7. Jav still leads, clearing away as the 3 behind him will try and battle it through. As we head into turn 8, the 2 Alpines have now made their way past Ghost Recon. Energetics is up the inside of Swip into turn 8. Swip is still going to have the inside for turn 9. He looks up the inside of Ghost Recon. Energetics, contact between Energetics and Ghost Recon. What the hell am I watching? Swip is now open to P4, and now he's going to have the clear shot at the top 3.
But he still has a penalty, and Jamie Met is now at the P5 ahead of Energetics, so he could have a shot at this as well. Go-Shike is slowly but surely gaining on Jav. So is he going to be able to nab the lead from the Alfa Romeo? Let's see how this is going to go as we go down towards turn 14. Lap and a half to go. Lap and a sector, I should say. See Energetics starting to go for a move on Jamie Med running out to the 14. Very deep on the brakes. He's going to be able to make that one stick. Very good on the brakes, actually, there. I think he's going to be able to make that one stick. Yes. Good move from the Red Bull there as we see Swift trying to get past Serial Killer, who's just holding this bit up and not quite able to get through with a damaged wing as well. Ghost UK has gone for the move.
Battle for the lead.
Jav.
Contact.
I think Ghost UK is through. Swift is
around.
now around through the tunnel. There was a contact.
No!
Jav now has a penalty, and he's going to be further down the grid. And this might open the door for Energetics. Jamie, 1 lap to go. Let's see what the gap is between Energetics and Ghost UK. It's about 3 seconds now as Serial Killer almost lost it there. It's Energetics and Jamie Met versus Ghost UK here. You have to say, I think that those are the 3 that are actually able to win this race here. As they are going to be closing up. They're already down to 2 seconds between Ghost UK and Energetics. Energetics is going to have to make it work. Jav's very slow there. Energetics runs to the back of him. I don't know if he's damaged or not. Jamie Met is now on the back of it as well. And Energetics going past the Alfa Romeo. It looks like he's going to be through. Going to be able to brake much later. And through. Now he's 1.9. I think it's a penalty and messes up all of his chances in the race win. Unless he gains a good 4.8 seconds this lap.
Yeah, Jamie Met, he needs to get past Jav if he wants to have a shot at winning this race. Jav goes around, all contact between him and Jamie Met. That's really unfortunate. I don't think anyone could really be punished for that, but Jav goes spinning to the back. Just a lap ago, he was leading this race, and now he's down in P7 with a 3-second penalty. I think the furthest he'll go back is P7, possibly P8, but Ghost UK still leads this race. Could Ghost UK win this one? I think he was 3rd or 4th on the restart was the Alpine driver, possibly even 5th. Energetics is in P2 with 3-second penalty. Jamie Met is not going to have a shot at getting the win here. It's going to be between Ghost UK. I think Ghost is going to win this as we head into the final sector. Energetics needs to make his way past him. The only way Energetics could get P2 is if he gets past the Alpine driver right now, but it's going to be so difficult to pass in this final sector. Jordan bakes his way past Serial Killer, so he's going to be up into P4. Of course, Poldypolls has been disqualified from this one, so whatever points Jordan scores, he's going to gain on Poldypolls in the championship battle. Of course, that gap was 47 points. Energetics through the final corner. Ghost UK UK takes a perfect line just to defend it there. It's not like it matters, but Ghost UK, oh! Ghost UK wins. Jamie Met crosses the line to take P2. Energetics will finish in P3. Jordan will gain a crucial 12 points on Poldy Bulls in the championship. Serial Killer finishes P5. Old School from last to first to last to everywhere finishes in P6. Swift finishes P7. Jav, after leading on the penultimate lap, will finish in P9. He spun at the final corner. Jess finishes P8 with the fastest lap, and Ghost Recon will take home P10. And oh my goodness, what have I just witnessed? Oh no. I don't think I'm ever going to get that hour and a half back of my life.
I don't think so, but I think it's totally worth it. Yeah, what?
What did I just witness? I don't even know what to say. There is nothing to say. Energetics promptly leaves the session after picking up a heartbreaking second place there. Serial Killer takes home driver of the day from the endgame fans. I thought we had a chaotic end to Division 1, and then I just watched that. So,
I think your scream at the end completely, yeah, just summed up the whole race.
I mean, that race took almost 69 minutes, which would have been a nice number. Almost 69 minutes. 68 minutes, 53 seconds, and 0.79 of a second there at the end. Ghost UK wins from Jamie Met to Energetics, P3. Jordan takes home P4. As we mentioned before, Serial Killer P5 from P16. Old School P6 from P17. Swip P7. Jess P8 with the fastest lap. Jav P9. Ghost Recon P10. Ibo, might have just scraped the 90%. As he says, he's 4 laps down, so I think he would have just gotten it. Ecos Mats, of course, will not. So, jeez. iConnect, Esteban, Robert Sum, of course, our pole sitter, and then Evil Dragon all did not finish, and Poldy Pulls, of course, were disqualified after going through 3 safety car periods without serving his drive-through penalty. Jav says he's heartbroken in the chat. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say anymore. Hold on. Let's have a look at the race director.
Yeah, if we just look at the Jamie Metz, for example, had 6 stops. Hard medium, into wet. It's a stop.
What am I looking at? Oh, let's go to the pit stops. Oh my goodness. You could scroll for forever.
And the Jets only made 2 pit stops.
Oh my goodness. What did I just... Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. After what would have been... Yeah, that was an hour and a half, I think. Yeah. I don't think we're going to have interviews after that one. I think we're all mentally drained and we need to go into the break week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, okay. Driver of the day. Where do we go from here? Can I say nobody?
Can we just say, Ibo? Like...
Ibo for getting points?
Joshi K, I guess, making... Nah, and then Jav for leading.
I mean, we have to say Ghost UK. I think we have to throw in Serial Killer or Old School.
Nah, Serial Killer wasn't that...
Neither of them were good.
Jav it.
Jav, you think?
I think it... Yeah, I give Jav it.
Jav. Do you just want to have those 2, or should we add one more? Just let's say we Ibo for vibes. There we go.
Yeah, why not? Perfect.
I think we'll just throw that in there as well in the commentators chat, and I think we're gonna call it a day. I think that was the most concurrent viewers we've ever had on a D4 stream. I think we were up at 33 at one point. So yeah, I think that's an amazing way to head into the break week there. So we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Of course, 6:30 UK time for D1 and D3 for Austria, and then 10 past 8 for D2 and D4, and hopefully we'll come back to another race that's not like that, but like that at the same time. I'm not really sure what I'm asking for here, but we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.